Well, hello everyone. Back again out in the cemetery. Was out here cleaning the graves of the Corey family this last week. Got Alan Corey here, his wife Alice. It's Clara Alice, I believe. We've got James and Teresa. I was cleaning these and I was seeing this other stone that's next to it, and I don't believe it's the same family. It might be, maybe it's a daughter that married in, but this one is kind of at risk of falling over. You can see that there's a sharp lean to it. It's covered with a lot of biological growth, and that top is loose, or the upper portion of it is loose. So before cleaning that, I think it makes sense to get this up, reset it, get it leveled, get it reattached so it's safe, so it's not at risk of falling over. And then let's get it cleaned and find out who it is. All right, well, I've got all my tools out here. We're gonna set up a tripod here, get this top lifted off. We can already tell that it's loose just by putting our body weight into it. Since it's leaning this way already, we'll pick it up here and we'll set it down over on this side. So I think that's the best angle for you guys to watch. It looks like this middle section here is already in good shape, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this top off, set it here, and then we'll get underneath here with the bar, get some more material, pack it down, and get that nice and level so we can reset this. Alright, we'll just get this low enough here so I can get my hoist on, and then we'll get this up and in place. Okay, I'm just sighting this in to make sure that we get a nice clean pick on it. Pretty straightforward, but you want to make sure that when you're picking something like this that you're above half the weight so that when this gets picked up it doesn't tip over on you. Alright, so you can see I haven't taken all the tension off. There's just a little bit there to be a safety to hold this in place, and then we'll just keep it clean there on that. A little nuance with this is you just want to make sure that when you're taking this off that you know which direction that it moved, or get it laid right in place. Otherwise you're going to have a problem with getting it right back in the proper direction. You can see here that there's been some degradation here of the material, and there's a lot of dirt that's gotten in here, but luckily the base is fantastic, good shape, it's still bonded really well. So we'll get this cleaned off, but the first step is just get this dug out and get some more material underneath there. Well, I guess that wasn't on there as well as I thought it was. I'm the millennial, so I'm taking a little easier way out since I've got the hoist here. So we'll get that one taken care of too then. Not super attached now than to have it fail again later at a separate time and have to have somebody come out here and do this all over again. So we don't need to lift this. We can just slide this off on the side. Investigation work. This stone has actually been repaired before. There was a pin in it. The pin is gone. It's been removed. So clearly somebody didn't do the right job, but we'll make it right. We're going to clean up the surface here. We're going to just use our little wire brush. This is the one time on a marble stone that we're going to be allowed to use a wire brush just to clean these mating surfaces. You can see that there's a lot of loose material here. We'll just sweep that off with a little bit of water. Make sure the surface is nice and clean before we go any further with this. This lower section is something that's a little bit of a cheaper, low-cost stone. It's not marble, probably more local to this area. The better we get this cleaned up now, the better it's going to stick with the epoxy putty that we'll be using. So this is worth spending the time on. And this is just clean water. As long as we're waiting for these other bases to dry, I thought let's get this upper done. You can see the repairs that are done here. We'll have to chisel that out. But you can see how it's just kind of flecking off. There's not a lot of good adhesion left there. So a modern repair of some kind, it looks like. Not for sure, but given the pin is missing here, it looked like, yeah, there's a pin that would have been there. So given that's gone, we'll assume that this has been repaired before. So let's get this chiseled off. Next step for us is just getting the wedge here put together. Just one small piece for each corner will do. There's a thick side and a thin side. Thick side goes out. For this, we're going to use our Prattley epoxy putty. We've got two parts here. Important to wear gloves with this one. Just going to spend time getting these two pieces of epoxy mixed together. As soon as you see the color go out of it, you know, so you don't see the two distinct parts, you'll be good to go. It takes a little bit of time. Put a nice ball just inside where the lead is at. All right, now change your gloves. Okay, now we're just going to get this setting compound around the edge. Okay, now that we've got it up on our blocks here, we can make sure that we've got this centered properly over the wash before we drop it down. Now, unfortunately, on this side, we haven't cleaned this yet. We've got a little bit of mortar yet. Okay, so Lillian goes on this side, so make sure that we get this in the right direction. Oh, that's good. Here. Yep, that's perfect fit. Well, I lost a battle with a lawnmower. The gentleman was out here mowing for a long time, so he won. I waited. This stone has had a while to set up, but it's also got some grass clippings on it. So we will just go ahead and get scraping on here. We've had some D2 that's been dwelling on here. We'll just get scraping away.
Wade from the future here. This is a grave of two children born to Sergeant Edward Fitzgerald and his wife Norma. Sergeant Fitzgerald was a Civil War soldier that, whose grave I just repaired in a video prior to this one. And when I repaired this particular stone, I wasn't able to read the names in advance due to the growth that was on the stone. But in retrospect, I can see who they were, and this is a family plot. They're also buried next to folks from the Corey family, which are relatives of theirs. So this is just a large family plot here. So there's Corey's and the Fitzgeralds all buried together, and these were two children that died at a younger age.
This is Halceon, Halceon A. Fitzgerald, died 1899. And it looks like 1896 for Lillian. This is a really nice marble stone, white marble stone. Come back here in a week, 2 weeks or so. We'll see this lighten up, clear up. A lot of this growth and so forth will come off. This should be a lot whiter at that point. We'll take a look and see how it goes.